The rich, sweet scent of freshly turned soil after a long winter is something you can never quite mistake for anything else. But if you are waiting until the weather feels warm and comfortable to start planting, you are actually making a massive mistake. Right now, a biological clock is ticking inside your garden beds, and every single day you delay, a crucial harvest window is closing permanently. Many of our most beloved cool season crops have strict deadlines hardwired into their DNA that no amount of expensive fertilizer, meticulous watering, or late-season effort can override once the soil warms up. If you miss this moment, your household misses out on hundreds of dollars of grocery savings, your backyard pots sit empty, and your fields produce nothing but tough, bitter crops. The secret to breaking this cycle doesn't come from a chemical bottle. It lies in simple, natural home remedies and clever household solutions, using things you already have in your kitchen. If you want to stop guessing and start growing real food using the power of nature, take a moment to subscribe to this channel so we can walk through every growing season together. It is completely free, and it ensures you will never miss a vital planting window again. Once you have done that, please drop your location in the comments below, whether that is your specific city, a rural village, a farming district, or your country. We have everyday families, passionate home gardeners, and large-scale farmers tuning in from all corners of the globe, and knowing exactly where you are tending your soil helps me tailor this advice so our entire community can grow stronger together. Let us start with one of the greatest pleasures of the early growing season, which is the crisp, sweet snap pea. Most people do not realize that snap peas produce fundamentally better, sweeter food in cold, uncomfortable soil than in any other condition, because cool temperatures between 40 and 65 degrees Fahrenheit force the plant to concentrate its energy entirely on sugar production. If you wait too long and the soil climbs above 75 degrees, the plant experiences a cellular shift, converting those delicious sugars into tough, bitter starches. To give your peas the ultimate head start, you do not need commercial root stimulants, you just need to reach into your pantry for regular chamomile tea. Chamomile contains natural antifungal compounds that protect delicate seeds from rotting in cold, damp earth. Simply brew a strong cup of chamomile tea, using 2 tea bags in a quart of hot water. Let it cool completely to room temperature, and soak your pea seeds for about 12 hours before planting. This simple home remedy softens the seed coat and inoculates it against soil-borne pathogens. When you are ready to plant, skip the seed trays entirely because peas hate having their roots disturbed. Direct sow them 1 inch deep and 2 inches apart along a vertical support like a kitchen garden trellis, or, if you are a larger-scale farmer, a cost-effective wire fence line. For everyday households planting in northern zones, get them in the ground the moment the soil can be worked in March, while southern growers should aim for late winter to beat the heat. As an incredible bonus for farmers and gardeners alike, pea roots naturally deposit massive amounts of nitrogen back into the earth, creating a free built-in fertilizer bank for whatever you plant next. Most people throw away their kitchen scraps without realizing that those very items can unlock the most abundant spinach harvest you have ever seen. Spinach is actually a late winter vegetable, and it bolts into a tall, bitter seed stalk the moment soil temperatures cross 75 degrees. To maximize your leaf production before that clock runs out, you can create an incredible soil-boosting rinse using old coffee grounds and crushed eggshells from your breakfast table. Eggshells provide a slow release of calcium, while used coffee grounds offer a gentle, natural dose of nitrogen that leafy greens absolutely crave. To prepare this, steep a cup of used coffee grounds and the crushed shells of 4 eggshells in a gallon of water for 24 hours, straining out the solids afterward. Scatter your spinach seeds incredibly shallowly, no deeper than 1/4 inch, in your garden beds or balcony pots, and keep the seed bed consistently moist using this nutrient-rich liquid. For small home gardens, you can apply this directly with a watering can, while medium-scale farmers can strain the mixture thoroughly and run it through a backpack sprayer or drip line. Apply this natural tonic early in the morning, right at the base of the plants once a week. If you are in a warmer climate, You can even drape a cheap household bedsheet or a light shade cloth over the plants in the afternoon to artificially cool the soil and extend your harvest window by several weeks. But here is where it gets really interesting when we talk about lettuce, because the single biggest mistake everyday households make is planting an entire packet of seeds all on a single Saturday. You end up with 50 heads of lettuce maturing at the exact same time, which is far more than any family can consume before it turns bitter and bolts. The secret to a continuous supply of fresh, crisp salad greens is succession planting combined with a common household staple, regular baking soda. Baking soda is a fantastic, non-toxic preventative measure against powdery mildew, which often strikes crowded lettuce leaves when spring rains hit. To make this protective spray, mix 1 tablespoon of baking soda and a half teaspoon of liquid dish soap into a gallon of water. Instead of planting all at once, sow a short row of lettuce seeds a 1/4 inch deep every 2 weeks throughout the month. This creates a beautiful assembly line of food. For the home gardener utilizing balcony pots or kitchen plots, use the cut and comb again method on loose leaf varieties, snipping only the outer leaves with sharp kitchen scissors, while leaving the central crown completely untouched so it can regenerate. For larger plots or commercial fields, spraying your lettuce rows with the baking soda solution once every 10 days during damp weather, preferably in the late evening to avoid sun scald, will keep your crop deep green and entirely disease-free without a single chemical intervention. Your grandmother probably knew this next secret, but somehow it got forgotten along the way, especially when it comes to growing radishes. Radishes are the absolute fastest food crop available, rushing from seed to harvest in barely 30 days, but if they sit in warming soil for even a week too long, they become hollow, woody, and painfully hot. To ensure your radishes develop that perfectly dense, crisp, and mild crunch, you can look to your medicine cabinet for regular, unflavored aspirin. Aspirin contains salicylic acid, which is the exact hormone plants produce naturally to fight off environmental stress and pest attacks. By dissolving 1 standard 325 mg aspirin tablet in a gallon of water, you create a powerful systemic drench. Plant your radish seeds 1/2 inch deep and 1 inch apart in loose soil, and water them with this aspirin solution immediately after sowing, and then once more 2 weeks later. This household remedy tricks the young radishes into boosting their natural defense mechanisms, allowing them to grow rapidly and uniformly. Home gardeners can use this trick to grow flawless radishes in shallow window boxes, while farmers can utilize it across larger fields to ensure a highly marketable, uniform crop. Always harvest your radishes the moment you see their colorful shoulders pushing up through the soil surface, usually when they are the size of a marble or a golf ball, to capture them at their absolute peak of flavor. If you have ever struggled with carrots coming out of the ground looking stunted, or if you find carrot seeds too impossibly tiny to plant evenly, the solution is sitting right in your kitchen pantry in the form of plain cornstarch. Because carrot seeds are so microscopic, households and farmers alike often end up with dense clusters of seedlings that choke each other out, resulting in twisted, useless roots. To fix this completely for free, you can make a natural planting gel. Boil a tablespoon of cornstarch into 2 cups of water until it forms a smooth, clear, liquid paste. Let it cool completely, and then stir your carrot seeds directly into the gel. The thick consistency keeps the seeds perfectly suspended and spaced apart. You can then pour this mixture into a plastic sandwich bag, snip a tiny corner off, and squeeze the gel smoothly down your planting rows like you are frosting a cake. This household trick ensures perfect spacing with 0 seed wastage. Carrots need a long, cool development window to convert their starches into natural sugars, and a light touch of spring frost actually triggers them to become chemically sweeter. Sow your gel mixture a 1/4 inch deep in the loosest, most stone-free soil you can manage. Keep the bed consistently moist for the 2 weeks it takes to germinate, and you will harvest the sweetest, crunchiest carrots you have ever tasted by early summer. Most people throw away the cooking water from their boiled vegetables or hard-boiled eggs, completely unaware of the liquid gold they are sending down the drain. especially when it comes to feeding onions. Onions are unique because they do not care about the temperature of the air. They respond strictly to the length of the day, using daylight hours to signal when to stop growing green leaves and start swelling into underground bulbs. To support this massive structural shift, onions need a steady supply of readily available minerals, which is exactly what cooled, unsalted vegetable boiling water provides. For everyday households, saving this water costs absolutely nothing and delivers an immediate nutrient boost to kitchen gardens or patio containers. If you are a farmer managing a larger acreage, you can achieve a similar cost-effective soil boost by brewing a large batch of weed tea, soaking pulled garden weeds in a barrel of water for 2 weeks to extract their minerals. When planting your onion sets in March, push them into well-drained soil until just the papery tip is visible above the surface. Do not bury them completely, as holding moisture against the crown causes them to rot. Apply your nutrient-rich household water directly to the soil once every 2 weeks during the morning hours. This encourages strong, vibrant green tops early in the season, which naturally translates into massive, healthy bulbs when harvest time arrives in July. Let us move on to broccoli. Because most home gardeners harvest the central head once, pull the entire plant up, and throw away weeks of additional free food without realizing it. Broccoli loves the cool embrace of early spring, and if you get your transplants into the ground while the air still carries a sharp chill, they will establish a massive, resilient root system. To protect these young transplants from destructive pests like cutworms and aphids, without using harsh chemical sprays, you can create a simple, highly effective home remedy using basic liquid Castile soap or gentle dish soap, mixed with a touch of vegetable oil. Simply mix 2 tablespoons of soap and 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil into a gallon of warm water. When you transplant your broccoli seedlings into the earth, bury them deeply right up to their first true leaves, because the stem will actually sprout extra roots underground to stabilize the plant. Spray this homemade soapy emulsion over the leaves once a week in the early morning to keep pests at bay. Once the main central head forms in late spring, cut it away at a sharp angle using a clean kitchen knife, but leave the rest of the plant entirely intact. Within 2 weeks, you will see a beautiful explosion of smaller side shoots emerging along the stem, providing your household or your farm market stall with a continuous, free harvest for up to 2 additional months. The critical detail that ruins more beet harvests than almost anything else is an unseen problem in the soil. But the remedy is as simple as checking your fireplace or wood stove. Beets absolutely demand a balanced soil pH, and if your earth is too acidic, your beet roots will remain stunted, tiny marbles no matter how much you water them. If you have leftover wood ash from a winter fire, you have the ultimate, free household solution to this problem. Wood ash is highly alkaline and packed with potassium, which is the exact nutrient root crops need to swell and become incredibly sweet. 2 weeks before you plant, gently work a few handfuls of dry wood ash into your garden beds or container soil. If you are a medium-scale farmer, you can spread this across your rows using a standard lime spreader to sweeten the soil on a larger scale. Each beet seed is actually a small cluster of multiple seeds, so when they sprout, you must thin them out ruthlessly to give the main roots room to grow. Do not throw those thinnings away. Beet greens are intensely nutritious and taste wonderful when sautéed in a little butter. Water your beets deeply at the soil level during the cool morning hours to encourage even root development, and you will harvest incredibly tender, sweet beets that completely lack that unpleasant, muddy taste so common in store-bought varieties. If you want a single planting that will feed your family from the final days of spring, all through the blistering heat of summer, and straight through the freezing winter snow, you need to plant Swiss chard right now. Unlike spinach, chard possesses a unique biological resilience that prevents it from bolting when the summer heat hits, but it needs to be planted in the cool earth of March to build the deep foundation required for this marathon performance. To protect this long-term investment from fungal diseases and root rot during wet spring weeks, you can look to your kitchen cabinet for a jar of ground cinnamon. Cinnamon is a powerful, natural antimicrobial agent that nature provided to protect plant tissue. Dusting a light layer of ground cinnamon directly onto the soil surface around your chard seedlings, or mixing it into the water when you plant, completely halts the development of harmful molds. For small-scale home gardeners, this keeps your patio pots pristine, while larger growers can create a filtered cinnamon-infused drench for expansive rows. When you harvest your chard, always cut the thick, vibrant outer stems right at the base, leaving the central growing crown completely untouched. This protected center will continuously push out fresh, beautiful leaves every few days, allowing a single afternoon of work in March to yield over 10 pounds of fresh food per plant across the entire year. But here is where it gets truly exciting, because kale behaves in almost the exact same way, yet so many people avoid growing it because they have only ever eaten oversized, bitter leaves that taste like a punishment. Kale is a biennial plant, meaning it has no biological urgency to produce seeds in its first year, making it an incredibly reliable and continuous producer for your household. The entire secret to growing kale that tastes genuinely delicious is to harvest the leaves when they are young and tender, and to use a common kitchen ingredient to keep the plants thriving: regular milk. Milk contains natural proteins and calcium that act as a fantastic foliar fertilizer, while simultaneously creating a protective barrier against powdery mildew on the broad leaves. Mix 1 part milk with 9 parts water in a household spray bottle or a large farm sprayer, and thoroughly coat the kale leaves once every 2 weeks during the brightest part of the day. The sunlight activates the milk's protective properties, keeping the foliage a deep, radiant green. Always harvest your kale from the bottom of the plant upward, when the leaves are about the size of your hand, leaving the central crown intact. As the autumn frosts arrive months from now, a magical chemical transformation will occur inside the leaves, converting bitter compounds into rich sugars and presenting you with a gourmet harvest you cannot buy in any store. There are 2 kinds of gardeners who grow shelling peas: the ones who plant them in the cold earth of March, and the ones who deeply wish they had. Shelling peas require a long, slow, cool weather development period to build their characteristic sweetness and tender, thin skins. If you plant them too late and the pods mature in the summer heat, they become mealy, starchy, and completely flat in flavor. To give your shelling peas an incredible biological advantage, you can create a simple home remedy using a splash of regular, unsulfured blackstrap molasses from your kitchen cupboard. Molasses is packed with natural sugars and trace minerals that feed the beneficial, nitrogen-fixing bacteria living in your soil, supercharging the plant's ability to feed itself. Mix 1 tablespoon of molasses into a gallon of lukewarm water and use it to drench your pea rows immediately after direct sowing the seeds an inch deep. Home gardeners can easily apply this with a watering can along a simple backyard trellis, while farmers can deploy it across extensive rows to maximize their yields. Keep the soil consistently moist, and as the vines climb, you can even pinch off the tender top 2 inches of the growing tips to enjoy as fresh pea shoots in your kitchen. This gentle pruning actually encourages the plant to branch out, creating even more flowering sites and a much heavier harvest of sweet, plump peas. If there is one vegetable in the spring garden that is completely misunderstood and unfairly neglected, it is the humble turnip. Most people think turnips are sharp, woody, and unpleasantly bitter, but that is only because they have only ever eaten old roots that suffered from extreme heat stress. A turnip grown in the cool soil of early spring and pulled when it is only the size of a golf ball is shockingly mild, sweet, and crisp. To protect these fast-growing roots from root maggots and flea beetles without turning to chemical dusts, you can use a common household item from your laundry room: regular, pure diatomaceous earth, or even dry wood ash from your stove. Dusting a fine layer of this dry material directly onto the soil surface and over the young leaves creates a completely natural, mechanical barrier that deters crawling insects instantly. Direct sow your turnip seeds ½ inch deep in March, and water them consistently to keep the soil temperature low. Home gardeners can tuck these easily into small garden corners, while farmers can grow them as a highly profitable, Dual Harvest Field Crop. You can harvest the highly nutritious, iron-rich green tops continuously using a cut-and-comb-again method, and then pull the sweet, crisp roots just a few weeks later, capturing 2 abundant harvests from a single, effortless planting. Finally, we must talk about parsnips, which represent the ultimate test of patience and the greatest reward in the entire gardening year. While every other crop on this list rewards you in a matter of weeks, parsnips require you to leave them in the ground all the way from March until the hard freezes of late autumn. During those long months underground, the roots develop a complex, caramelized and nutty sweetness that is completely unmatched by any grocery store alternative. Because parsnip seeds are notoriously slow to germinate and lose their viability incredibly fast, you must always start with a completely fresh packet of seeds every single year. To ensure success in the cold March ground, you can use a simple household trick using old cardboard boxes or pieces of burlap sack. After sowing your parsnip seeds half an inch deep in deeply loosened, rock-free soil, lay a strip of damp cardboard directly over the planted row. This simple household barrier locks in absolute moisture and prevents the soil surface from crusting over during the 3 long weeks it takes for the seeds to emerge. Check under the cardboard every few days, and the moment you see the first green sprouts pushing through, remove it completely. Home gardeners can use this trick to get flawless rows in raised beds, while farmers can use burlap rolls to ensure perfect germination across large fields. Leave the roots alone all through the summer, let the autumn frosts kiss the ground, and you will dig up a harvest of pure, golden sweetness that will make you realize exactly why we braved the cold March weather in the first place. The most successful households, gardeners, and farmers are not people who possess magical soil or expensive, automated tools. They are simply the ones who are willing to step outside and work with nature when the weather is still cold and uncomfortable. By embracing these simple, natural home remedies and stepping into your garden, while you still need a heavy jacket, you are aligning yourself with the true rhythm of the earth. Thank you so much for being a part of this incredible growing community, and for subscribing to the channel so we can continue sharing these time-tested secrets every single week. Whether you are watching this from a tiny balcony in the heart of a bustling city, a beautiful backyard kitchen garden, or the wide open spaces of a commercial farm field, please share your location and your own experiences with the crops in the comments below. Stay tuned, because in our very next video, we are going to dive deep into a secret household liquid that will completely transform how you protect your summer tomatoes from blight before it even strikes. And you